Peter and Leah from July Talk are joining me now from their living room to mine. How are you?
Pretty good.
Doing great. Yeah, we're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Peter, you were telling me before we turned this on that you've never been so busy. What are you busy doing?
Well, we're putting out a record, so we've been making lots of art and creating like at-home isolation videos and just, making a lot of creative projects. And so it seems that there's a sentiment that it's like, oh, now that you got all this time, you should have an hour and a half chat with everyone you've ever met on Zoom, and you should do this and do that and finally get your knitting done. And I feel like I have less time than before, but we've been having a blast, like there is a simplicity to the life. And we feel very lucky that everyone in our family has been safe and healthy.
Leah, how about you? How are you holding up?
I'm all right.
Cool.
I don't know. There's like plenty of time to mull things over and feel things. And I don't know, up and down, like this is the first time any of us have ever been through something like this. So I don't think you can really expect how to feel minute to minute. Today's been okay. Some days are a little darker. I've been doing a lot of dancing in my bedroom, doing like a Instagram live dance class with this guy, Ryan Heffington. And it's been helping a lot to just like force myself to be active and jump around and learn new silly dance moves and stuff like that. That's been one of the highlights.
Is it tap?
Is it tap?
Imagine it was tap dance.
No, it's not tap.
We live in a house with some other artists, so if it was tap dance, I think we might all go.
Get some complaints. Get some complaints from
I was going to say, like, how are the dance classes going with people living below you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Tell me about putting out a record in the middle of all this. Obviously, it's not the way you envisioned it.
Yeah.
It's not the way we envisioned it, but it was just the schedule that we had planned since kind of the end of last year. So it's just been about adjusting, the way you do promo with like radio and minute to minute. Things are changing in terms of like, who knows when we'll be able to tour again. But there is a lot of time for stuff like, sitting in your living room and talking to people on a screen. So that's new.
Yeah. I mean, I think we feel like pretty lucky. I think, I don't know. It's just nice that you can contribute something, like I feel a bit helpless, as I think a lot of people do when we look at cities like New York and you're looking around and really seeing folks, struggle. And it's really nice to be able to give some music to folks just as something to put forward, And so I've been grateful for that. I think the process itself never feels the same when you make a record, like when we put out our last record, the way the music industry worked was totally different then as well. And now it's completely changed. So I think we were ready for a certain level of reactive kind of just doing what you can, but we're really excited about the record we made. And it's nice. Yeah. Like just to give folks something to kind of dwell on and think about maybe a little bit. I know that's how kind of when I get a new record right now, it's really nice to be able to pay it full attention and just go through every lyric and go through all the liner notes and stuff. I really enjoy that kind of interaction.
I know I wrote you guys sort of individually about this on Instagram the other day, that like when I heard your first single off the record, like it was like a bit of a salve, you know what I mean? Like I found it sort of like a blanket that warmed me up. And I think like my ability to process music and art viscerally, like pretty intensely, has only been ramped up because of the situation that we're in.
Yeah. I don't know. It was kind of like I've been kind of, like I said, I think I've been really diving into records this last month or two, and just listening to them and giving them a bit more of myself than I normally do. I think that strangely enough, when we made this record, there was sort of an unspoken statement that kind of felt like we were trying to make a record that we would put on our own turntables at home and just sit with, like, and maybe a little bit less of a panicked approach than we have had in the past, which I really enjoyed, and great music comes out of panic. But I think we kind of wanted to approach it a bit differently. Obviously, when Leah came to the band with Pay For It, we just really thought it was just a beautiful song. We just didn't want to, do too much to it. And we all just kind of really had this amazing experience of recording it at the Hip studio outside Kingston. And yeah, it was a really special experience, but I don't know, there's a bit more patience, I guess, this time around, would you say?
Yeah. I think that when we put out our last album, it was like right before a series of crazy things happened in the world. Not that the world isn't always going through crazy things, but I feel happy that we had 4 years to process and write about our experiences, be they, as huge and universal as like paradigm shifts in politics and different things happening on a global scale, and as small and insular as like parents going through health scares and stuff like that. We just had time to kind of like wade through all those feelings, and because of that, I think that the album that we made, like, it feels okay to be putting it out now and to be talking about it and stuff, just because it's like really honest, and I feel it's kind of exactly what we want to say.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are like those cats that, like, when they show up at your door, you knew something wild is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, the cat's back. That means the house is going to catch on fire. Oh no, the cat's back. My aunt's going to win the lottery. Like, you guys, your guys' records have that energy for me.
Oh, it's kind of you to say, I think. I feel pretty good about that.
It's also funny just because we watched the movie Cats recently. So I'm just like thinking about the context of those cats.
Which is by far.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm picturing you both in really poorly done animated cat suits right now, just so you know.
Yeah. I can't believe that was made. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing. I think that this record, with Touch, we wanted to come at it with something where it felt like we were examining a certain human connection that we felt that was really at risk. It felt very quickly that we weren't connecting to other human beings as we thought we could. And some of that was because of our touring, but a lot of that was because we were spending 3 more hours on our phones a day than we had been in the rest of our lives at the time. I think this time that we just really wanted to show our cards, like wear our hearts on our sleeves in the hopes of other people feeling the same way. Like when I think about when I meet someone new, when I'm literally just walking up to someone for the first time, and that sort of like standoff nature that happens before the first time anybody laughs or before the first time that anybody shows themselves a bit, and I think that we started kind of writing songs, and the more we kind of put on the table of vulnerabilities that we felt that we wanted to show, the more we realized that was kind of like a superpower. It's like the minute you show something of yourself, like maybe others are encouraged to do the same. And I think that this sort of COVID experience, for some reason, all of a sudden it feels like social media is less about, how you look in the mirror and showing yourself as your life as this really great, exciting thing, and more so kind of being honest and being upfront and being like, this is kind of actually what I'm going through. And I think that's pretty special. At least I think that's what it's meant for, right? If we're just amplifying, myths about ourselves and whatnot, then it kind of loses its purpose. So anyway, I think that Pray For It's about kind of like, it's not a God record. It's, we're just trying to like dive into something where it's like, we all show our vulnerability. We all ask for help. We all do this. It's like, can we just do it together and try to like show that everything's not really going great right now. And I think we need some help. So anyway, I'm really excited to put it out.
I can tell that you are, and I think it's like the perfect time for it. You know, I think it's the perfect time to be having the conversations that will come out of listening to songs in this record. I think it's really amazing how people are really kind of connecting right now. Like, I think there's a world. I mean, we were kind of joking around about how it feels like everyone has 3 hour-and-a-half Zoom calls every single day.
Yeah.
But really, what I think that is just that like we're forcing ourselves to be connected at a time when connection seems impossible. And I think that one of the most beautiful ways that we're doing this right now is just by like just people making things in any way they can. And I really love that you guys have been doing these sort of live performances, you know, live videos, even though you're far away from one another. Can you tell me what it means to you guys to be able to get together like that, and also like what was the thought behind it?
Yeah, I mean, Governor Shadow is a fun one that we've been doing, that I think we're going to premiere with you, I believe. So maybe we can chat about that.
I'm pretty excited about it.
I think there's the limitation of, you know, like space and technology. We're all isolated and we can't go anywhere. And actually trying to play with each other over over streaming or over, you know, a Zoom call or whatever is just, it kind of will lack in quality, and there's just no way around that, really. Like, the internet isn't fast enough, and maybe we're not like talented enough players to like try and catch each other's weird video time signatures and stuff like that. But then the limitation of like, how do we still create something that has the band's like stamp of approval, in terms of like quality and hopefully artfulness, has been kind of something that's really interesting and fun to explore. And so we're just like sending our parts back and forth, and, you know, Danny will play to a basic guitar track, and then everyone kind of ends up recording their own parts over there. And right now we're also like, Pay For It is a slower song, so our live from isolation videos were kind of more subdued, and about just like being in the space. And Governess Shadow is a song that is way more frantic and energetic, and so it becomes the limitation of like, how do you still perform that song in a way that feels like it matches what we recorded and what we intended it to be. And I think like sitting, you know, the two of us with a guitar and playing like a stripped down version of it just wouldn't do it justice. In our minds.
When we first finished the song, it was like the song we most wanted to play live, because it's like this amazing, pissed off, punky song. And so sitting down at a piano and doing a sort of stripped down, slowed down version of it felt wrong. So we're trying our best to kind of like bring the same energy we bring to the stage to this isolation video. So it feels very punky, and you know, we set up all the loud amps and we did the full scale, like, you know, thing, but all in our separate homes. And I mean, it's great. It was so fun, you know, like we just played it so loud, and it was really a blast to dance, you know, like Leah dances every day because she's, you know, a trained dancer, and she goes crazy if she doesn't. But, you know, I don't dance unless I hit the stage. And so it was really special to just feel that energy like coursing through your veins, and feel just a taste of what we miss so much. Like, there's a cathartic requirement to the way we normally live our lives. Like, we're used to playing, you know, 100 to 200 shows a year, and when it doesn't happen, it's like, you know, you have a lot of steam to blow off. And so making the video was really special because it kind of allowed us to blow off some of that steam.